She still can't even stand.
She's so wobbly.
Zhang Weili is furious.
She's upset. But 100%. 100%.
Oh, pay-per-view weekend. Let's fucking go, everyone. Welcome into a brand new edition of Axe Kick Picks, episode 129. Today is August 16th, 2024. And Joey, we are on the Perth, baby. What's up?
How we doing, bro? Yeah, man, we have a long time coming. I mean, honestly, this weekend's stacked, bro. If you didn't know, I've been posting it on my socials. Not only do we have the Abu Dhabi Combat Club this weekend, but Craig Jones, he's decided to have $1 million invitational to compete head-to-head against ADCC. He's headlining his own event on the second night. So tonight at 6 o'clock, free on YouTube, Facebook, X, you can watch CJI, the invitational. And the main event for tomorrow, same time, I think, same places to find him. Man, Craig Jones is taking on Gabby Garcia in an intergender showdown. What's on the line is an OnlyFans collab for a Craig victory or $1 million cash money for a Gabby victory. So I just had to get all that out there because it's like a freak show, but of the highest order with the best jiu-jitsu artists on the planet. So
yeah, he has a lot of really talented guys. I know he has the Cade brothers competing, Mackenzie Dern. He has that Mikey kid as well. I forgot his last name, how to pronounce it. But they're all studs.
Than 80 kilogram weight class tournament bracket, and then they have a lower than 80. And then you got the Rotolo brothers, as you mentioned, Cade and his brother Ty. So yeah, there's a ton of very high level jiu-jitsu players. And I mean, Abu Dhabi Combat Club, they're off to a hot start. So, they've been going for years. This is the first time that they're really having competition. And you could see, with the money you could win on the line, you could see all the, big players coming over to CJI.
Now, I heard rumblings that the main event might get canceled because he kissed that girl. I mean,
no, the fight is on.
That was ridiculous. He's a menace. Craig Jones is top 5.
He 100%. But Gabby Garcia is a freaking nature, dog. She might be able to manhandle him, to be real with you.
You think? The way she pushed Craig, I was like, holy
he is
shit.
So big, bro. You ever see her fight against other female competitors? She is about not just double, triple their size.
I mean, it was insane. I saw that yesterday, and I was like, yeah, Craig Jones is amazing. Honestly, the whole promotion thing, I love how he's going head-to-head with ADCC. And to be honest, he's paying the athletes more money. I love how it's just $1 more, but you have an opportunity to win $1 million. In ADCC, you can only win $10,000, and in jiu-jitsu world, that's nothing. And that's why all these jiu-jitsu players are transferring over and saying, you know what, we're actually going to go to Craig Jones's Invitational.
Yeah. And
I love it.
Social media platforms more so than ADCC. It's just the whole thing about it. And I got to give a shout out to 27-time BJJ world champion Hanato Rahanha for, being the mediator between Gabby Garcia and Craig Jones. If you know, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be intense. That's tonight or tomorrow?
Tonight, like I said, at 6 o'clock, YouTube, Facebook, X, and then also tomorrow night. They are going up against, UFC 305 a little bit, but I'm sure they'll probably finish before the main event if they're starting at 6.
Yeah, I mean, to have your double screens out, triple screens. We got boxing. We got PFL tonight as well in Hollywood, Florida. So we're locked and loaded. Joe, got a huge episode. But let's recap Dana White Contender Series favorites.
Yeah.
4-1. You went 1-4. But overall, out of the 5 winners, only 4 got contracts. The Hamid is the only winner, the guy who won unanimous decision against Ding Ming. He's the only one that missed out on a contract, rightfully so. Dana White wants to see push.
Yeah, that was a rough fight. And Meng Ding was pushing the pace, but he was behind in that one. So, like you said, I got the 4. I was going with dogs early, and I thought Meng Ding would finally have his dream realized of making it to the UFC, but he fell short. And the only one that hit was the heaviest favorite, the Mansour Abdel Malik, which, it was a tough fight. Les Schultz was no slouch. He was definitely there to win that fight.
Yeah, 100%. I thought the main event was good. I mean, the elbows just viciously in the third round. They were really or the second round, excuse me, was really getting to him. So yeah, I think he deserved it. He didn't get the first round to keep the streak going, but he does get the knockout. Bruno Lopez, what a knockout that was in the second round as well. I mean, he's legit. And I thought even in the first fight, I mean, you got 2 really
starched him,
and it didn't even look like it was all that powerful. But that left hook, first time ever in his career, knocked out or lost.
Caught him by surprise, bro. Caught him where he didn't see, least expected it. Caught him flush on the chin and just flatlined him.
Yeah, so it was very good. I love watching fights on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Just gives us something to talk about.
I got more coming your way. Come to the recap of 305 and everything, and then we'll have some more plays every Sunday recap episode for Dana White Contender Series going forward.
Yeah, I mean, we got 5 more fights come next Tuesday. Andres Gustafsson headlining it against a Canadian, one of our brothers up north. I don't know any relation to Alexander Gustafsson.
That's interesting. Maybe they're related somehow.
Maybe somehow, but yeah, can't wait for that. We'll have more picks on that a little later on in this for tomorrow or Sunday. But other than that, kid, let's get on over to the PFL.
Yeah, let's get those picks.
Tonight, going down Hollywood, Florida, 6 p.m. Start time, co-main event, prelims, excuse me, and then the main card starts at 8 on ESPN. So why don't you take us away, Joe? I got a few picks as well for us.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And just feel to, tune in, chime in whenever you do have a play. But, I'll kick it off. I always like covering the full cards, and I'll try to get it out for you quick. So we started off in the women's featherweight division. Michelle Montague is a minus 1,100, taking a Marilla Moraes at plus 1,000. And granted, she's a player, but she's also older in her career. Montague just, if you look at her resume, rear naked choke after rear naked choke after rear naked choke, something tells me that she will find her opponent's back and sink in the rear naked choke. So give me Montague via submission. When I was looking at it, I didn't see any prop odds. I wonder if they posted it up. If you do see anything, because I got some props where I didn't get the odds, let me know. Like I said, Michelle Montague via submission for the first play of the PFL Hollywood.
What was it, Michelle?
Yeah,
by
submission.
What?
Montague by submission.
Yeah, no. She's a heavy favorite. Yeah,
heavy
just
favorite.
over under rounds. That's all I see.
Maybe under if she gets that finish. So let's go into the next fight for the featherweights. Jordan Oliver, ex-NCAA champion, very prized wrestler there. You know how wrestling translates to mixed martial arts, and he's taking on Braden Akeo at plus 700. Don't think Akeo has that pedigree to compete with the grappling of Olivier. But Oliver, he had a submission in his first victory. Something tells me that he may work his wrestling, but not find a submission. I'm taking a chance by taking Oliver, who's a favorite, heavy favorite. I think he gets to the judges' scorecards, probably dominantly, if he can't, find a submission again. So give me Oliver via decision for the second fight. I didn't see odds yet again.
Yeah, no odds for that. Just over under total rounds.
All my plays will reflect on my verdict, prognostications, my predictions, and I'll have that posted up after the show. So we go into, one of our favorite fighters, a guy on the rise, the silverback, Thad Gene, minus 300. The boy's got hands, and he's taking on Chris Brown. Plus 275. I think Chris Brown deserves a beating. So let's get Thad Gene via KO TKO here. Like we said, the first time we saw him, I actually had a sneak peek to him in his debut when he was lighting people up. And he did it again when you saw him his second time around. So I think he's going 3 for 3 with us. Let's go Thad Gene via KO TKO. Like I said, no odds posted, but you got to get something out of a minus 300. If we're doing it for a minus 300, obviously we got to get it out of the minus 1,000s and up.
Thad Gene via KO TKO minus 115.
Favorited. So it's likely to happen.
Yes.
I think it's fair because he could catch him early, but he has enough stamina, it seems, that he could get a late finish as well.
Love it.
We go into the lightweight division, and man, Mads Burnell coming on kind of a streak, minus 130 as a favorite, and it's taking on Elvin Espinoza at plus 110. I mean, I think a lot of people are sleeping on Elvin Espinoza. The dude's got all the talent in the world. Granted, I think last time out he suffered his loss, but dude, it was against Rabadanov. They were trying to get to the playoffs. Rabadanov's a dog. He's going to be, in the semifinal here. I just think that, compared to who they fought prior, Mads Burnell, he got a victory against our boy Clay Collard. No offense to Clay Collard. I think for some reason that the loss to my boy Rabadanov may, give Espinoza just more fuel to the fire, like he came off a loss to a guy that could very well win the title here, could win the tournament. Mads Burnell, he beats Clay Collard. He could take the foot off the gas in this spot. Like Mads Burnell's always there, and it's tough for me to say, but I'm going to take the plus money with Elvin Espinoza. I think there's some value with him as a slight dog. I think he's very athletic. He has the skill set to compete, especially if it stays on the feet. Mads Burnell, he's a really good grappler. So I'm going to take Espinoza here. Plus 110. I think he gets back off of that loss against Rabadanov, and you can see him come back next year. So let's move it on. And I got a treat for you guys in this one, man. In the bantamweight division, not often we see bantamweights here for the PFL or Bellator since, they don't technically have a weight class, but we're seeing Danny Sabatello minus 750 in the spot against Lazaro Dayron, man. Nobody knows about Lazaro Dayron, but this dude, undefeated, 8-0. And if you think I was going to take Elvin Espinoza plus 110, you got me right if you think I was going to take the plus 700 here with Lazaro de Ron. I just see he has the finishing capability. You know, Danny Sabatello has been disappointing. That's what I see. It's more of a fade towards Danny Sabatello than anything, because he was heading towards one trajectory, and in his last 4, he's dropped 3 out of them. So dropped 3 of the last 4. I don't like the trajectory of Danny Sabatello. I think he has holes on his stand-up game, and I think Lazaro de Ron can exploit them. So I think he's live at a plus 700. I think there's tremendous value in here, and I'm going to take it. I'm going to take a chance with Lazaro de Ron at plus 700.
Money's coming in on the dog. He's down to plus 625. Why is Danny Sabatello a minus 900 favorite?
Because they just look at his grappling capabilities, his wrestling, and, you know, when he's fought, you know, high-level competition, he's competed. Granted, he's lost. He's competed. And when he's fought, like, you know, guys who aren't, quote-unquote, on his level, he's come and he's shown up. He's beaten the guys he should be and competing with the guys that he does technically should. And so I could see why he's a favorite, but I got to take a shot, man. We've seen it before, him get upsetted, and there's a chance it happens again. So I like those odds, man. Making a lot of money. So I think we're in the main card now. That was the feature prelim, and we started off with the second fight of his professional, you know, career. Biagio Ali Walsh, the grandson of Muhammad Ali, is taking on Brian Stapleton, who's a last-minute replacement. And no offense to Brian Stapleton. Don't like what I've seen in the footage in his amateur ranks. He's plus 850. Doesn't seem that the odds are giving him a shot. I don't think the PFL is giving him a shot. Biagio Ali Walsh has hands. Minus 800, rightfully the favorite. It seems that he could grapple too. When we saw him last out, he showed us new aspects of his game. So I think Biagio Ali Walsh, they did it perfectly with these. Set him up amateurly, and now he's in the pros, and he's ready to get some wins under his belt. So I think what I've seen out of Brian Stapleton, Ali Walsh can exploit him. I think you're going to get a KO TKO in the first fight of PFL Hollywood. So Biagio Ali Walsh, VOK or TKO. What do you have for those odds?
Minus 475.
Wow. Might have to go a specific round.
Or just put him in a parlay.
Or put him in a parlay, but I'd be honest. I think I have him with a first round knockout. I just don't see that Brian is going to have the capability to stay with him even for 5 minutes. So I'm thinking a first round knockout. Do they have odds for that specific project?
No, they don't.
I would take first round KO TKO. That's my verdict prediction. So let's move on to the front of the show. Cassius Clay Collard. He's a plus 115 taking on Brent Primus in the semifinal to make it to the title. You'd call me a fool if I wouldn't be backing our man. I like Clay Collard, his volume, his output, everything that Brent Primus fails when he has his opponent that does. This is what Clay Collard is going to do to him. I think he's going to burn him out. Brent Primus, if he could get some grappling going, which we've seen Clay Collard have the little issue with, if he doesn't want to counter wrestle, he wants to stand and trade, he will allow the takedown. But if this stays standing, Clay Collard, you know, he's got those hands. He's got the boxing background. We've seen it get the finishes, man. Upset against Pitbull. I mean, Clay Collard's got it rolling coming off that loss against Mads Burnell. As I mentioned, I got the plus 115 for our boy, friend of the show, the dangerous one, the man of the people, Cassius Clay Collard. Do you have anything for this, my man?
It's up to plus 170 right now, Clay Collard. Brent is up to a minus 185. And
wow.
yeah,
I'd take that.
Yeah, I gotta take friend of the show as well. I do think there's going to be a really good fight. I do think Brent has the advantage on the ground, and you know Collard will have the advantage on the feet. So I feel like if he could damage and hurt him early on the feet, I think he's live here. I just worry Clay's inability to stop takedowns or reverse positions on the ground or the clinch. It's cost him. You know, it's cost him big time, and he's lost 3 of his last 4
title
fights.
against OAM.
Yeah, by the same thing. So he just doesn't seem to know how to handle himself if it's not a boxing match. So if he does wind up staying on the feet, I do think he's live here. So plus 171, that's tremendous value. Give me friend of the show. I'm taking
that. Yeah, I'll change it. I'll take the plus 170. You know, when I saw it a little earlier, I was just that confident about him. And maybe we see some counter wrestle. I know he's been talking about it. We talked to him about it. If we see some counter wrestling from Clay Collard, he's completely rounded out of his game, and there might be no stopping him if he makes it to the final. So let's move on to who could be the competitor of the winner there. Godsey Rabadanov, who I mentioned, is a minus 600, taking on Michael Dufault at plus 455. D-Rock, do you have anything on this at all?
Yeah, I'm actually going to – how do you pronounce the other guy that's not Dufault?
Godsey Rabadanov.
Rabadanov. Yeah, I like him via decision if you could get odds for that, just because he's a minus 600 favorite.
He's a grinder.
To win by decision, minus 180. So, yeah, Same thing. It is favored here. I do think, you know, I don't think he'll be able to knock out him because his opponent is very tough, but I do think he should win a decision over 3 rounds. I think, Romanov, he's going to stay away from the chokes. He's going to try to piece him up on the feet, set up the wrestling clinch takedown.
Yep.
That's his game. So I think he grinds him out over 3 rounds. So it's minus 600, but to get it all the way down minus 180, it is it's more playable, I'll say.
Yeah, it's absolutely more playable, and that's what I saw as well. I went with the Rabadanov decision because, you look at Rabadanov's game, and it's exactly that, try to mix up the stand-up with the wrestling, get the wrestling going and get a submission victory. But if you look at Dufour, he's never been submitted in his career. He is a jiu-jitsu guy. So I don't see that if it hits the ground that he's going to get caught. He would have to be beat up pretty badly for that. And I don't think Rabadanov's game is going to hurt him on the feet and then finish him on the ground. So 5 out of his 6 decision fights Dufour's career, he's lost. So that's most likely the play. That's what I saw. I think, unfortunately, Dufour, as tough as he is, he might wind up on the short end of the scorecards. So Rabadanov via decision, we're both on the same side there. And now for the co-main event, we have Rob Wilkerson, man. Big guy, kind of a slight favorite, minus 150, taking on Dovletyan Yagshimuradov at plus 135. And I love my boy Yagshimuradov, but man, I've been fading Rob Wilkerson, and I can't get burned again by it. I'm taking Rob Wilkerson in this spot. Are you following suit?
Yeah, I'm taking Rob Wilkerson on the money line, minus 155. I would even sprinkle a little on via KO, TKO. I mean, I feel like we can't take anything away from their last fight. They were in elevation in Utah. They both got pretty tired quick. They both got decision wins with low volume, kind of boring, but these guys are strikers. They're exciting. I saw Wilkerson live at the Hulu Center in New York, and he was big guy. He had fucking cinder blocks his hands, and both guys are tied for second and third in points. So I expect fireworks on the feet. I do think Wilkerson, will get the better of those changes. He's more explosive. He's super motivated this season. He wants to prove that, he is championship caliber after that positive drug test. So I'm going to take Wilkerson. I do think he has a better chin. And even if he doesn't get the finish, I do think he wins, and I think he wins via money line minus 155.
I like the money line. It's safe bet, but I do like the KO TKO because I think I have that in my predictions. Because Dovletyan, he's a guy that would take your best shot to give you one, and sometimes he's wound up on the wrong end of that. So Rob Wilkerson is very smart. He doesn't like to get into those brawls type exchanges. He's skillful yet powerful, and I think Rob Wilkerson is going to have the advantage.
He's just a tough guy to knock out because I feel like if he doesn't knock out, this could turn into a wrestling clinch match, and it might go the distance. But I do think Wilkerson is the play. Yeah,
I think the elevation definitely affected them that first time around. And the fact that they're fighting at sea level, I think that they could put, the pedal to the metal and maybe go for a finish either way. But I am going with the favorite just like you are. Mm-hmm. So let's go into the main event of PFL Hollywood. And it's in the light heavyweight division yet again. And it's Impa Kasanganay rematching against Josh Silveira at plus 375. You have Josh Silveira, and the heavy favorite is Impa Kasanganay minus 470. I got to go with Kasanganay via decision again. We've said it time and time again. It's hard to beat the same guy twice. Silveira, he's a finisher. If he can't get a finish in this one, he loses in the decision majority of the time. And I just think Kasanganay is also going to come in prepared and not want to lose this fight. He's not going to fight scared to lose, but I surely think that he's going to come in well prepared. So I think he's going to have the advantage. I think he's the right side, but I think the play is to get value, to take Kasanganay via decision. I think if he's the victor, he'll go to decision. If Silveira happens to get Kasanganay here, it would probably be by a finish. So it would be inside the distance, but wasn't willing to take the risk. I'm going to go and play, the safe bet, which I think is Impa Kasanganay, defending champ, trying to make it back to the final of the PFL playoff.
It's at even money at plus 100 for Impa Kasanganay to win via decision. And that's what I'm going to take as well. Josh Silveira, I think he might have the most fraudulent run in PFL history. He beat Sam Key, who he's awful. He isn't even in the promotion anymore. He fights Delon Monte, who blows out his knee in the first round when he stepped in on it awkwardly. And then Josh gets credit for the first round KO. I mean, next fight, he fights Ty Flores. Josh is gassing hard, lands a Hail Mary knee to get the KO. But make no mistake, he was getting ready to lose that fight. Then this season, Sadabusi randomly breaks his thumb early in the fight against Josh, and then Silveira gets credit with another KO. So I don't know. In his last 2 to 3 fights, he's lost to Wilkerson and Impa Kasanganay. So I see the same result here. Yeah. Impa, he worked hard easily for 5 rounds in the last year's final. He showed he has better cardio. He has better striking. I like his footwork better. I just don't see that from Josh Silveira. He's cool. I think he's a good fighter, but let's just be honest. The resume is a little fraudulent. So give me Impa Kasanganov via decision.
Hey, no disrespect, but just being real, just seeing what it is and why we're picking our sides. Josh Silveira is a good man, fought for his father, and he still is gym owner and taking care of the next generation of fighters. So we wish him nothing but the best, but I just think it's a tough fight, especially if he does get past this, having a face-off where we'll meet up with them in the final. So I think the semifinal to final right here for these weight classes are pretty exciting, especially when we go to the women's and all.
Yeah, 100%. So, make sure you guys watch that tonight. We got the light heavyweights and the lightweights. And then next week in Washington, D.C., we have the welterweights and the featherweights. I was thinking about going, but we'll talk about that a little later because
where we might be going.
Yeah, I think money's a little tied up, but so can't wait for that tonight. And before we get to the big UFC 305 paper card down in the land under, a quick word from our sponsor, Viva Tequila. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market. It is no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavored tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing a round of golf with the boys or new flavor coconut watching UFC 305, it doesn't matter. Our flavors pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at Axe Cake Picks and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, Joe, 305 down at the land under Perth. Beautiful, beautiful country. Now, I'll say this. I don't know if you caught the press conference on Thursday night. Did you?
The press conference? What, they were crying?
Well, Izzy was crying. So, and I'll say that because you made, and I'm glad you brought that up because that was what I wanted to make a comment about. I fell in love with this sport about 4 years ago during the pandemic, a little over 4 years ago now. And I'll say this, I have the utmost respect for every fighter and reporters and everything. But I'll say this, MMA Twitter or the MMA community is one of the most toxic fucking communities ever.
There's no accountability there.
And it's not even accountability. They're just so disrespectful. There's no, you read the room. There's no like, I don't even know how to explain it.
I'll stick up for my community a little bit.
It's just negativity.
No, you're not wrong. But this is from, a lot of people that go behind, not having their face. Like, we are out there. You know who we are. We have something to represent. We have something to stand behind. And it just seems that the toxicity you get, because there are other people out there trying to do the same thing as we are. And I respect and I support everyone that is out there trying to podcast, trying to promote, trying to make content, keep on doing that. But those that are, hiding behind, a different profile picture and then just spewing hate, that's not necessary. That's, where the toxicity stems from. But like I said, for the majority of the community, those that put their face out there and are known, they are good people out there. It's just bad apples ruin the bunch.
It's not even that. It's like the people have faces. It's not one of those John X55444321. It's not those, because I understand what you're talking about. I'm not even talking about those. I'm talking about people that actually have content, that have thousands of followers, that have a voice, and they're saying,
"Call them out, name them out, drop some names. Who we got?"
No, I'm
ready to fight. I'm ready to fight.
I love the block button. The block button is so therapeutic because it just.
People need to utilize that more, and also post, drop and drop. Just whatever the Joe Rogan said is that you post your shit and just fucking forget it, because it's just, you all have more important things in life to worry about: your friends, your family, your health, and enjoying, seeing the best athletes on the planet compete for our entertainment.
I guess I just find it very weird that a grown man or grown woman would go out of their way or take the time out of their day to throw dirt or to shame another human being when that human being risks their life every time they step into the cage.
Unfortunately, nothing better going on.
So them saying, "Oh, Izzy he's crying, he's down 10-7 already, or he's on drugs, or another DUI's coming up. We're going to hear another excuse." Why? Because the man is emotional.
Yeah, he's got a lot on the line here.
I mean, it's just fucking ridiculous.
Let alone them talking about a family. I think what came to his mind is all the work he's put in to get back to this point, like,
yeah, and his family was front and center.
And I feel like Izzy's the type of guy to be very conscious about what's being put out there. As we're talking about, it's out there. And if he's the one that's on social media doing, he's seeing it. And so I think it's all that. It's like not getting the credit that you might feel that you deserve being counted out. And that's why I think you're going to get a motivated Izzy for this main event. And I think the same for DDP. It does look like the weight cut's being kind of rough for DDP because how he was talking seemed very cotton-mouthed, seemed very, drained. But I just think both guys are extremely motivated. There's bad blood in here. They're doing it for, like we mentioned, for their friends, for their families, for themselves, for their legacy. There's a lot on the line. And I think all of that came rushing. It's not just the fact of talking about the families. I think that triggered all the emotions and everything that all the hard work is put into this. It's about to come true tomorrow night. We're going to see the ceremonial weigh-ins tonight. We're going to see how intense that will be. And we'll be right into the fights. And at the end of the day, all these people could talk all the stuff they want. And that's why I said I'm ready to fight, because we could keep talking all this stuff. It seems that the people that are talking the loudest,
they're cowards. They would never do what these fighters would do.
Find the words. It seems that the nicest, the most vicious people on the earth that I've ever come across in my jiu-jitsu training and the military background and everything, every walk of life that I've come through, the most hardened, vicious people that can end your life are the most sweetest, down-to-earth people. And the people that talk the most shit are the weakest, unfortunately. Yep. And it's still time for you to not be a loser anymore. And that's what Joe Rogan says. You're a loser now, but there's still time for you to not be a loser and change your ways and not spend all your time on social media hating on other people's lives.
It's incredible to me, but I just had to get that out there. But
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did.
It was weighing on me today, and I woke up, I watched the press conference, and then I go on Twitter, and then all I see is just hate because a man is emotional about the journey that him and his father went through. And I just think that's insane, because you could criticize Izzy, but you can't criticize other people.
Francis Ngannou, Alex Poatan. Name all the stories of these guys who've come up from nothing and made something from themselves. Without this sport, I mean, we wouldn't have the community that we have. So you got to, take care of what you have. That's the thing. If you take care of what you have, it'll last a lot longer.
And I don't want to say, and I don't want this to be construed or clipped off to say, oh, the whole community is like that, because I've met amazing people in the community. And
absolutely. That was my sentiment towards it.
But there are some bad apples, and it gives you a distaste in your mouth. And you even hear the fighters come out and say, like, this community is toxic sometimes.
And they would dare never say that in front of their face.
We know
you would have a life-changing offense if you were ever say that in front of the fighter's face. So that's why with all the shade, and we do criticize our fellow fighters and stuff like that, but we don't
in a respectful manner.
In a very analytical sense, and there's no personal, it's really just like being brass tacks. It's really just calling it as we see it. So that's all. It's two different ends of the spectrum here, and 100%. Y'all could do better.
Yeah, do better, be better people. It's so much easier to be nice and respectful than to be hateful. But that's my end of my soap opera. Now get off my lawn.
Get off your soapbox.
Early prelims, 6:30 on ESPN and UFC Fight Pass, and then the prelims go off at 8. Main card pay-per-view, 10 o'clock on pay-per-view. Joe, take us away.
Let's do it, man. UFC 305 down in Perth. Starts off in the flyweight division between Stuart Nicolay at -215 against Jesus Aguilar at +200. Now, been looking for footage of Nicolay. Haven't found much. It's got to be out there. And I've been doing some research, and, undefeated guy, good fighter. I see it, but I'm not confident in taking someone that I don't know. I haven't been able to look footage of. And I have seen Jesus Aguilar before. I mean, we've seen him start Shannon Ross. We've seen his ability to grapple. And it seems like that's more of his bread and butter, is to get down there and try to submit you. So I got Jesus Santos Aguilar Rodriguez as the dog in this spot, starting you off with a play +200 odds. Like I said, I've seen him before. I see what he's capable of, and I just want to go off precedent as compared to a guy that I haven't seen before. Granted, he's fighting in his, basically his own backyard, and I see maybe that's why he's a favorite. Undefeated guy, has some finishes, but prove me wrong, my man. I'm going to go with someone who I've seen and taking the plus value. So Jesus Santos Aguilar Rodriguez +200. That's what I'm taking to start us off. And I don't have a play in the next one. No official play between the welterweight fight of Kanan Song -155 taking on Ricky Glenn at +160. Didn't want to touch that one, though I will be leaning with Kanan Song decision. Ricky Glenn has gotten caught a couple times early in his career, but he's a tough dude, and I don't think he will get caught that easily. So let's move on into the third fight of the evening, and this will take place in the lightweight division. I have seen some move around a bit, but am I still right with the placement? This lightweight fight is Tom Nolan minus 1,000 plus 1,115 against Alex Reyes plus 775.
Yeah, that's the correct order.
Alex Reyes, man, the last two fights, we've seen him on a hiatus, got knocked out by Mike Perry years ago, comes back, gets knocked out again in the first round. I hate for that to be the reoccurrence for him, but, man, the odds are saying something to me. Tom Nolan is big. His nickname, the Big Train, makes it seem like you got to get out of the way, and there's no getting out of the way when you're locked in an octagon with him. So I think Tom Nolan will continue his knockout run. As he lost his first one, it was kind of a shock seeing Nicholas Mata catch him, but damn, dude, I think Big Train is back on track. It's normally those debuts where you see someone get a hiccup, but I think he'll knock out Alex Reyes, whether the first or second round. I'm going to take Big Train via KO TKO. Didn't see odds, but I'm going to guess with as heavy a favorite he is, it's probably like minus 125 or something like that. Do you see anything for the Tom Nolan? Tom Nolan. Yeah.
Via KO TKO. Tom Nolan minus 400. Do you want a specific round?
Just like the Biagio Ali Walsh. No, let's leave it at is for now. Maybe,
Nolan to win in round one minus 170. So.
That's crazy. So they're favoring him all around. So maybe incorporate it in a parlay. Definitely try to bring it down a little bit though. So let's move on. Going to the featherweights. We have Jack Jenkins minus 700 taking Herbert Burns at plus 600. Now I'm not trying to see any tears in there. I want to see Herbert Burns come to fight. We see him in the past have the ability to scrap. But just the trajectory, the way it's been going for him, the opponents that he's been fighting, he's been getting no, gifts. This is a tough fight. Jack Jenkins at home seems to be a destroyer. I don't think he's lost when he's fighting over down under, I got to go with Jack Jenkins in this spot to get it down from minus 700. I'm going to go back-to-back KO TKOs. I think the hometown guys, fighting in their own backyards will get some knockouts and get the crowd rolling early. So maybe it starts with the first fight. Yeah, maybe it starts with the first fight if I'm wrong there, but I really do think that I'm confident in these heavy favorites. Like you said, minus 225, a little better than a minus 400, but I do think Jack Jenkins gets a finish against Herbert Burns.
I agree on the point that I do think we'll see a lot of knockouts just because I love, by the way, the Dana White Contender Series, those blue gloves. We saw a lot of knockouts. I think they were prepping us for 305. I do think we'll see a lot of finishes in this card.
Yeah, I would love to see it. It would make for a fantastic pay-per-view and event. So let's move it along to the women's flyweights, where King Casey O'Neill is plus 135, taking on a last-minute replacement. She was taking on Teresa Beleda first, but now Luana Santos steps in on short notice and is a favorite at minus 140. D-Rock, I heard you had to play before, but did you change your mind? I just want to hear your point.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to take my girl, King Casey O'Neill, plus one. I see
Luana Santos is tough, right?
She is, but I do think this might be a little too big of a step up in competition. Casey O'Neill should have won that last fight, and I think her cardio is better. We'll see on the ground because Luana Santos is legit on the ground. And she's a favorite for a reason, especially on short notice. She's in shape, so should be a barn burner, but I'm going to take the value with my girl, Casey O'Neill. I worry about her, though, because if she does lose, I think she's out of the rankings.
Yeah, and I'm on the other side because I like Luana Santos. I see her as a future champ, to be honest with her. She's coming a long way with her striking, and her jiu-jitsu second to none. She is a black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So I'm on the opposite side. I thought you were going to take the lean, but I got Luana Santos with an official money line play. I like her a lot, and it was a tough fight to see O'Neill take after having Teresa Beleda, who I thought Casey O'Neill was going to win that handedly. Now she's in for a tough fight with Luana Santos. So let's move on. Just to let you know, I don't have any official plays for the next two, but the first one is in the featherweight division. Josh Culibao, I like him a lot. He's minus 130. Taking on Ricardo Ramos at plus 125. Ricardo Ramos has been getting caught as of late, and I like Josh Culibao. Like, I was really debating on taking him straight up, but man, I just wanted to stay away from this fight. I didn't want to get too cute and take a side here. I do have Culibao via decision. I do think he can grind it out. He has improved significantly with his wrestling. And so if he can keep Ricardo Ramos off the feet where he's most dangerous, he should have a smooth ride to a decision. So be leaning Culibao, nothing official because I do have it on my verdict predictions with the decision, but no official play.
Yeah, I do lean Koulibaly as well. He was going to be one of my favorite picks, but I just love the value here we're getting. minus 130 I see right now. So great value. I just think he's a little more experienced. And like you said, Ricardo, he does tend to get knocked out, and I could see that possibly happen.
Or get caught. Remember the Julian Erosa guillotine? That really quick, like first round happened so quick. You barely saw it. So, yeah. Let's go into the heavyweights, man. Think this is going to be a banger of a fight. Junior Tafa, the juggernaut, minus 125 is taking on Walter Walker, Johnny Walker's brother. The battle of the brothers we got, Justin Tafa's brother, Junior Tafa, Johnny Walker's brother, Walter Walker. Walker is a plus 115. I like him a lot. I really thought that he would have done something in his debut against Lucas Brzeski. A loss like that against a guy like that, who we saw Brzeski last time out get absolutely starched, doesn't bode well for Walter Walker in his UFC career, but it could have been a hiccup. As we saw and we said before, a lot of guys making their UFC debut, they get the jitters, seeing in the limelight for the first time. It's a lot of pressure. So could have been that. I don't have an official play, but I will be taken because what happened against Lucas Brzeski, that's not a good loss. Do think Junior Tafa may catch him in the first round with a knockout, might chin him. We know Johnny Walker can get chinned. Don't know if the same with Walter Walker, but I mean, it's possible. So
it runs in the family.
It may run in the family, man. So like I said, my verdict prediction is a Junior Tafa first round KO, TKO, but I don't have an official bet.
Yeah, I'm going to take Junior Tafa on the money line, minus 125. I do think he starches him. I just think he's better. I think he has more power. And I just, like you said, that Lucas Berger loss is a bad one on your resume. And I think the Aussies are really going to show up, man. I really do, which is why I like Josh Culibao.
Last time they didn't. So I think there's a lot of onus on them to get it done.
And I think he needs to turn this one around. Junior Tafa stepped up for his brother on short notice, took a hard loss. I mean, he needs to come back in his home country. I think this is a good opponent for him to get that win. So I think the UFC is doing him a favor. Yeah, give me Junior Tafa. I like him a lot.
Yes, sir. Beautiful play. And we move along into the welterweight division. And we may get the return of the Leech here, man. Jingliang Li, plus 280. In a tough return fight against Carlos Prates, minus 320. D-Rock, who do you have in this?
They're really trying to promote Carlos Prius. Yeah. I mean, they're really pushing him, and I love the Leech. He's just been away for so long, and that worries me. Now, do
Prates has been so active?
Now, do I think Carlos deserves to be over a $3 favorite? No, I think that's a little steep. I truly do. Even though I do think he's the real deal, I think you got to have respect for the Leech. Think it should be a close fight. I think it does go all 3 rounds, if I'm being honest. I put him in a parlay, truly. I put him in a parlay. Fight to go the distance, plus 173. They think Carlos is going to really put him out. And he has a chance, but I just think Leech is just a tough son of a bee.
Never been KO'd in his career.
And that is my worry. And I think a lot of people are expecting Carlos to be the first one. I just don't think so. So and we'll talk about time away in the main event, but I think for the Leech, this might be a little detrimental as opposed to the one in the main event. Yeah. But yeah, I like Carlos. He's in a parlay of mine, which we'll talk about in a little. But yeah, minus 300, I do think it's a little disrespectful.
Just taking him safe. Yeah, I granted say that. Lee has a lot of experience, and he also has finishes in career, and he's a guy that we all love to see fight, and we're glad to have him back. But this, like I said, is a tough match. I think Carlos Prates is the real deal, bro. 9-fight consecutive finish streak, dude. First or second round. Majority of his fights are ending in that way. Like, it seems like a finish is going to happen early. Like, he's going to go out there. My worry is if he doesn't get it done, that he gasses and Leech gets him late. That's always an opportunity.
That wouldn't surprise me either.
That would not surprise me.
That's why I think if you really like the value is all with the Leech. Yeah,
absolutely is. But I went a specific. I got Carlos Prates. Let's go. I actually have him straight up. I have him with a surprise knockout on my verdict predictions, but I am taking him straight up. As a matter of fact, I think he's the first leg of a 3-leg down under parlay for me. So I'm on the same side as you. Played it safe. Didn't think that he would necessarily get it done. I do have it on my verdict predictions, but man, let's see the Leech return and let's get a great fight here. So I think it's going to be maybe a night stealing fight, to be honest with you. Something's in there. I feel like it's between this one, co-main and main event. I think these could be the fight of the night. So let's move on to another fight that I like. And maybe we get a shoey. I don't know. It's in the heavyweight division. Tai Tuivasa plus 190 is taking the newly improved Jairzinho Rozenstruik at minus 210. man, we can compliment Rosenstrike here, there, and everywhere. His alliance with King Mo has paid out dividends for him. He's more patient in there, and he still has that power, and he's got the credentials. He's gonna have to get caught by Tuivasa to lose, man. That's what I'm seeing. It's very hard for me to take the bet I am taking, but I'm hoping with wholeheartedly, as you said, the New Zealanders and the Aussie crowd, I think, are going to really put this, fighters to come together and get wins. And man, I've done it, and I've burned myself so many times taking Bam Bam, but I can't fade the South Aussie banger. I just can't do it, bro. I gotta take Tai Tuivasa, bro. I gotta do it, bro. I think I'm taking Tai Tuivasa because I'm looking here, and I have different plays. I think I had Jairzinho Rosenstrike, but I got to go back to my verdict plays, man. I'm all over the place because I really want to see a shoey, bro. I mean, I really want to see a damn shoey. I'm going with it. Even though I took Biggie Boy, I'm changing my mind, man. Last second here on the show live, I'm going with Bam Bam Tai Tuivasa. I'm just taking a shot. I want to see a shoey, and that crowd goes electric, bro. And they get ready for the featured bout, the main event, co-main event, man. I'm taking a shot. Like I said, this is a last-minute change-up. I had Biggie Boy to start. I'm changing it. I'm going with Bam Bam.
Is Tai Tuivasa the next Tony Ferguson? I mean, if he loses, I mean, he's very much
5-fight losing streak.
Yeah, gonna be out of the rankings. There are fights for Tai, but I don't know, man. I was leaning Biggie Boy. But give me Tai. I think we see a Stewie. I think, he took some time away, coming back home. He trained in Abu Dhabi, tried to get away, tried to go back to fundamentals.
He's fought a whole bunch of wrestlers. Now he gets to fight a stand-up guy.
And that's my thing. Like, yes, I made a joke in the beginning, but look who he's losing to. Cyril Gane, Sergey Pavlovich, Alexander Volkov, and Marcin Tybura.
Where the top two wrestled him.
Yeah, all great fucking fighters. So I think this is a good matchup for him. I think he actually puts Biggie Boy away. I think he catches
first round.
Maybe first, second round.
He's going out there swinging. I know he is.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Tai Tuivasa, bro.
I can't wait for the song choice because he's gonna have the crowd going crazy. Hopefully, it's like the Spice Girls or something. But I gotta take Tai. I think he rights the wrong. I think he gets back on the horse, gets into the win column, and at plus, I saw 190. I see 210 now. Plus 210 for Tai Tuivasa. I think that's tremendous value for a guy that just needs one punch. So give me Tai Tuivasa.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, like I said, Jairzinho's improved significantly, but if he's gonna stand, he's got to stay away from the power. And
my question to you though is, if Tai wins, do we get a shoey from you on the show on Sunday?
Fuck it, let's do it. Yeah,
let's do it. All right.
And now let's go to the featured bout, man. Mateusz Gamrot, minus 325. Does he deserve a title shot after a win? If he does, taking on Dan the Hangman Hooker at plus 280. D-Rock, give me your opinions.
I think Mateusz Gamrot, I think he does. Dan Hooker is not fighting for a title shot. But if Mateusz Gamrot goes out there and finishes a guy like Dan Hooker, legend Dan Hooker. I think he's been in the company for 10 years now. I mean, I saw the transformation of him having no tattoos to a guy that's fully fucking yadded now. I love it. I love all
in a one fight difference. Literally one fight.
It's insane. I want to know how many hours he has under the gun, but it's insane. But I do like Mateusz Gamrot. He's too heavy of a favorite. He's in my parlay as well. It's a 3-leg parlay. It's Mateusz Gamrot, Carlos, and Jose Delgado. 3-leg parlay is at plus 129. I mean, Mateusz Gamrot is over $3.
So Jose Delgado already hit for you?
No.
Jose Delgado was the Dana White Contender Series guy. That's
yeah. He did hit. Word. I forgot.
So you already got one leg down.
One leg down. Let's fucking go. I forgot. So I just need Carlos and Mateusz Gamrot. I do think he grinds him out. I don't know if he finishes a guy like Dan Hooker though, but Mateusz Gamrot, I think he grinds him out, wrestles him. That's the pathway to victory. You don't want to stand and bang with a guy like Dan Hooker. So I think he wrestles him, clinches him up, gets him on the floor, and I think he controls him for 3 rounds. So yeah, what are you going to say?
And Gamrot isn't intelligent enough to do so. I mean, grizzled veteran fighting, KSW fighting all over the world, being a double champ in 2 different weight class. He beat Arman Tsarukyan, but then I think what put him back for getting the title shot was the loss to Beneil Dariush. But
yeah,
man, he seems motivated. He seems ready. The weight cut doesn't look like an issue. Dan Hooker is granted fighting in his home, but I think that this is going to be the crowd's time to kind of be settled down after, the knockouts we get from all their hometown people, especially after the shoeies in the crowd. The crowd's going to have an energy drop and very well could also affect Dan Hooker. So something's telling me that Gamrot is going to do that. He's going to find a way to clinch him against the cage, take him down to the ground. And I know it's not common. I'm taking him straight up. He's on a parlay with Carlos for me, as you have as well. It's crazy we have the same kind of parlay, but I do think Gamrot can get him down. And if he doesn't finish him in the first, I do think he can finish him in the second. I put all my XP on him with the second round ground and pound finish. That'll get me to win it all, but it's not that likely. Obviously, I'm XP hunting, and it's not likely. He is a grappler more than anything to find his submissions, but he's got hands, and if it does get to the ground with his grappling capability against a Dan Hooker isn't as savvy there, I think that some shots will connect and maybe put him out. So, yeah, Gamrot is who I got on the money line with Carlo Paredes, both in a parlay. Call it the down-under parlay. Probably going to be odds just like minus, I'll be honest, like minus 110. If you're lucky, could be plus 100.
Yeah, so the fight to finish go to decision, it's heavy favorite minus $2, but to win via decision, for not Dan Hooker, Mateusz Gamrot, it is minus 150. So if you don't mind laying the juice, I would say.
On him via decision?
Yeah, for Mateusz Gamrot.
Okay.
So let me get the odds of you real quick. So you said Carlos and Mateusz Gamrot. That is for a parlay of minus 225 because he's a minus 400, minus 360. These are heavy favorites.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
That's why I gave Jose Delgado.
Yeah, great choice. And that's why I think originally I had the Jairzinho in there. But the fact that I'm going against it, I can't. But, I mean, 225 is better than minus 300 for both guys. So, definitely some better value if you want to play the props we had put out, which, like what you said were both decisions for Paredes and Gamrot. Am I wrong? Mm-hmm. You said there's higher chance for them. And I'm thinking a finish for maybe. So if you want to play a decision Dylan parlay, you get better odds. And if you want to say inside the distance parlay, you get better odds. So take it how you like it. So we've made it to the co-main event of UFC 305, and it's in the flyweight division, man. Kai Kara-France is plus 140. He's taking on Astro Boy Steve Erceg, coming off, title challenge against Alexander Pantoja. He is a minus 155. I like Kai Kara-France's volume, his output and stuff, but he does receive a lot of damage, and his grappling isn't as precise as Steve Erceg's. I think Steve Erceg has a more well-rounded game. He has jiu-jitsu. He has the wrestling. He could take you down. He could stand on the feet. He's got elbows. He's got knees. Not that Kai Kara-France doesn't, but I just think that Steve Erceg does have more ways to win. And I think we're going to see an improved Erceg coming off of the fight against Pantoja, where he could have won that fight. I mean, he really could have. Kai Kara-France has been a letdown in a lot of, performances where you put your money where your mouth is. For him to get a boost in his career, he needed to win those fights, and he was, a letdown. So it's unfortunate to say he's fighting his own backyard, but I got 2 back-to-back hometown losses here. Give me Steve Erceg. Actually, he's fighting in his own backyard. He's from Perth. So
yeah,
you're more so than Kai Kara-France. We got Steve Erceg actually getting the crowd back into it, getting a victory. Take him on the money line, minus 155. I probably would incorporate him on that parlay just to get some more odds out, but I like the props either way, just 2, because all it takes is 1 loss.
Yeah, I don't think Steve Erceg is sneaking up on anyone anymore. And, he proved how balanced of a mixed martial artist he is. He could grapple. He has size, length. He's a good striker as well. In that fight against flyweight champion Alexander Pantoja, and I think a lot of people, not a lot, but I think some people thought he could have won that fight as well. So
absolutely.
I like Kai Kara-France here, to be honest. He's 3-2 in his last 5, but let's be honest. His 2 losses to Brandon Moreno, and then in a razor close fight that I think
tough fights.
Everyone thought he won against Amir Albazi. So he should be 4-1. I think he's the older fighter. He's the more experienced fighter. I think he's the quicker of the 2 as well.
This would do a lot for his career, a win over
If
Steve
he
Erceg.
wins, he gets a title shot. Let's be honest, because they're dying for a new blood in that flyweight division.
I just saw a joke saying that they were going to have Demetrius Johnson fight Alexander Pantoja. If they're getting to that, they're desperate.
And that was going to be my question to you is who's going to be the Henry Cejudo to save the flyweight division? Because at the end of the day, I believe this division is going bye-bye very soon. Let's be honest, because it yeah, maybe that's sort of thyroid.
That's our savior right there, bro.
But I don't know. I think if he could deal with his power, Usyk's power, he does have power. He has grappling, and he opened up a lot of eyes in that battle versus Pantoja. So I don't think he's going to sneak up on anyone. I guess the question to me is Usyk, is he a legitimate threat? Maybe. We'll see against Kai Kara-France with the experience. I got to take the value here. And this is not just a Perth card or his home. This is a city kickboxing fucking card, baby. Kai Kara-France is going to go out there and exactly.
Crazy fuck. Let's go to the main event of UFC 305 down in Perth, Australia. Beautiful place to be, man. Vibes are going to be high. Crowd's going to be electric. And we've made it to the UFC middleweight championship, man, for all the marbles, man, all the bad blood, all the talk. After tonight's ceremonial weigh-ins and face-offs, we will see them in center stage of the octagon, man. Dricus Du Plessis, DDP, still knocks plus 100 when I saw him. Defending champ taking on Israel Adesanya, the last style bender, at minus 115. You know, D-Rock, I'm going to hand it off to you, my boy. What do you
right now it's a pick 'em minus 110 both ways. So money coming in on both sides.
Yeah.
Give me Izzy by murder. Money line, KO, TKO. I think he finishes them second, third round. I think I talked about
he's jacked right now.
We talked about the time away, and I think this was beneficial for him. Get away, let the division play out a little, work on some things, and really focus in, because I think in the back of his head, he knew he was going to fight DDP. Like, regardless of what was going to happen,
all the circumstances, all the challenges.
He knew he was going to fight. So he was like, let me take 8 to 9 months. Let me hone in everything. Let me get all that DUI.
Let me work on strength and conditioning.
Everything. So, and now he's not the hunted. He's the hunter. And when he said, you know, fuck the belts, I'm coming for heads, I felt that. I think we're getting old Izzy back. We're going to get him motivated. He's a technician. He is a true mixed martial artist. And it's so weird. And you got to give him credit to the champ, because I doubted him against Sean Strickland, which I do think he still lost. I doubted him against Bobby Knuckles.
Yeah.
He won. He knocked out Bobby fucking Knuckles. He's just so.
That's no easy task.
He's so I don't want to say unathletic, but
he's unorthodox.
Yes,
you don't know what to expect from him.
And
he's like clunky in there, dog. He's like a clunky.
He steps and moves forward. It's just, I think he's going to continue to press forward, and that's what Izzy needs. Izzy needs a guy to counter. And when he steps forward, Izzy is going to counter him. He's going to attack him, and he's going to finish him.
The two fights that Izzy probably watched was his loss against Sean Strickland back, and then the follow-up fight between Sean and Dricus, and just studied them day in and day out, as well as all the work he's probably putting in physically. Man, I agree. I do agree. Continue on.
Yeah, no, that's all I really was going to say. I think the time away helped him. And let's be honest, you know, I really think the UFC really doesn't want DDP as a champ, because as a champ, he really doesn't do anything. He hasn't built this fight. This is the fight that we all wanted.
Izzy's like the A side.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but it's true. He's drawing all the eyes, all the more casual viewers and more, you know, social media influence.
Yeah, so I mean, we've been all dying for it when he got into the cage, and they had that very uncomfortable face off. I mean, we were like, damn, we can't wait for this fight. We can't wait for it. And now the fight's here, and it's like crickets.
Care less.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of insane. The champ's not building it up. He doesn't care. I don't think the weight cut's been an issue. I really think. I mean, weigh-ins haven't happened yet, but I think the weight cut's been an issue for him as well. That he's already talked this week about moving up to lightweight or light heavyweight. So it's like, yeah, you didn't even defend it. Let's stop that as well. Let's stop trying to move up weight classes before you defend the belt. So I really think Izzy, he's motivated. I think we're going to see old Izzy here. So, yeah, I'm going to take Izzy by via KO, TKO at plus. What do I see right now? Because their odds are different. So, plus via TKO for Izzy Adesanya, plus 290. And then money line minus 110. But I see anywhere second, third round.
It really could. I agree with the odds, man. This is a pick and fight. It can go either way, bro. Izzy, 35 years old, but he really looks to be rejuvenated, ready to fight. Dricus, though, doesn't seem like he's missed a beat. Although I do see him speak at the press conference, it seemed like the weight cut was giving him a little bit tough time. But you know how that could be. Man, I'm just going for novelty. I'm going with DDP. Just to have, may the best man win, because I really think Izzy is live, and I think he's coming in motivated. And if I do see him winning, I do see a finish. I do think it happens in the third or fourth round. I think the leg kicks may add up. Whoever's leg kicks will register more. Obviously, Izzy throws more rear, and Dricus throws like an awkward, like kind of step back, lead front leg kick to your leg, and he starts beating on that as it goes. But I think not only would that need to be part of his game plan, he absolutely needs to wrestle Izzy Adesanya. He needs to get him on the ground and deny his ability on the feet, because if it stays on the feet for too long, Izzy is going to pick him apart. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But we saw what Jan was able to do with him. We saw what some of the wrestling could do. There is a chance for DDP. And like I said, I just got to go with the opposite of you. Even though I really do think Izzy, he made me money a ton of times. And I was going to pick Izzy Adesanya going this, but I had some last second changes, and I knew you were going to pick your boy. So just for, like I said, just for competition's sake and the hope that maybe you do come victorious, I'm going to go with DDP. So may the best man win. I think it's going to be a great fight. Like I said, I think there's a chance that this could be fight of the night just because everything into it. I mean, if these guys throw caution to win and start exchanging on the feet, that crowd's going to be rowdy in there, man, after everything that happened that night. Man, I think we're in for a treat for UFC 305. I can't wait for tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%. May the best man win. So we'll see. We'll see. I really like this card. I think we see a lot of finishes, but yeah, like I said, early start time, prelims 6:30, prelims at 8, and then the main card on pay-per-view at 10 p.m. Joe, let's go over to some news. We'll start with Dana White. He announced earlier in the week, UFC Apex currently undergoing a $20 million expansion. He says there's going to be a big announcement coming in the next 6 months related to the venue. He did not confirm rumors that the venue will be shut down for the renovations while they take place, but yeah, we're getting ready for more Apex.
Probably not just the Apex, but probably a little bit for the Performance Institute, probably just like a little bit of the funds being scattered about to just make the whole facility better. But like you said, to accommodate more seating, probably going to have those boxes for sale. Like if you want to buy a suite, it'd be like, unfortunately what I am seeing is that what this sport was more affordable for the common man is becoming more of a luxurious sport and is becoming unaffordable for, the 9-to-5ers, for those that don't really have it like that. For a lot of blue collar, middle class people and low class people, it's hard to attend these events, man. The prices that I've seen, they've gone up significantly. So I would like to see that maybe if they do all this renovation, and granted they're putting money into it, so they're expecting money out, but it'd be nice to maybe accommodate some of these, people, to have them go to an Apex event for like a reasonable charge. Obviously if you're going to a massive atmosphere event like a 305, you should pay top dollar. I agree. But for a localized event like that, something very intimate, I think it would be nice as a gesture to help our fellow man.
100%.
And I know it's a business, but they could still make money. I think
100%.
you'll still make money. You just don't have to make 100 times amount of money. You know what I mean? Like let's 50 times as good. You right?
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. I just hope there's more people that could attend these cards and, like you said, make it a little more affordable for the common, like you and I, the common folks. So, Canada, we are back. The Great White North, baby. UFC Edmonton, November 2nd. I think it's at the Rogers Place where the Oilers play. So, love that.
It's gonna be cold.
Oh, yeah. November 2nd. Tickets go on sale September 20th. So I registered. Hopefully I win tickets, but that'd be sick. But
put that passport to use.
Main event, our girl Erin Blanchfield taking on Rose Namajunas. Main event at the flyweight 5
title eliminator.
Has to be a title eliminator.
But does Erin off of the Manon Fiorot loss deserve a title shot if she gets a win against Rose?
I would argue, yeah. I would argue, yeah.
That'd be interesting to see if she jumps over Manon Fiorot. That'd be great
because
to see. But Rose absolutely deserves it if she wins.
Yeah, because Manel Fior, her manager, came out and said she expects to be the backup fighter or weigh in as the backup fighter for UFC Noche, for Alexa Grasso and Valentina. And then she expects to fight the champ, whoever the champ winds up being, early next year. So I think Manel Fior does get the next shot. I'll say this, though. Erin Blanchfield, if she goes out there and beats a Rose and puts that on she's going to get a title shot, or she's going to, because look who's there. No one. Macy Barber's
Yeah.
still hurt. Jessica Andrade. Unless they push to Natalia Silva, I mean, we'll see. But like, there's just really
I'll be honest
no one
with you,
there.
there's a chance that would happen. I do think that if Erin Blanchfield wins, they throw in Natalia Silva because they would put Manon Fiorot. The fact that Manon beat Erin Blanchfield, I mean, Manon did beat Rose as well. So you could argue for the both of them that Manon still deserves a shot. Or you could argue that the winner may have to fight Manon Fiorot, that she doesn't deserve a shot and that she needs one more. So, I mean, there's a lot to move around in that weight class.
100%. And yeah, this fight night, this can be the first UFC card with two things. One, legal 12-6 elbows, and two, the new grounded fight rule. Knee and soccer kicks to the head,
allowed.
legal, even if feet and both hands are to the ground. So that will be legal November 2nd.
Will they go back and retroactive any issue in the past? There's no way they could do that, right? Like Aljo's title win against Peter Yan, John Jones, 12-6 elbow against Matt Hamill, none of that stuff, right?
No,
that's final. It's done. I think they were saying if that's the case, Dana White, John Jones should be undefeated. Well, we all know he is, but it's a loss.
Yeah,
so it was disqualified.
And then right before we went live to tape UFC 307, and here comes the promotional workhorse, Alex Pereira. He saved 4 straight pay-per-views. UFC 295 when Jones and Miocic was canceled, UFC 300, UFC 303, and now UFC 307. Main event, Alex Pereira versus Khalil Roundtree.
Amazing.
I mean,
didn't see that coming.
I'll say this. As much as we advocate for Khalil Roundtree and I guess big fans of Khalil Roundtree, I think this sets a bad precedent, and I don't believe he earned it, and I don't believe he should get this fight. I think the clear, and I'm not just saying this because I have a future for Magomed Ankalaev, but a guy pulls out of a contender fight because of a failed drug test for a banned substance and then gets rewarded for a title shot. It's just not a good look. Yeah, it's going to be violence and they're going to throw hands and it's going to be a banger of a fucking fight.
If not now, then when for Khalil Roundtree, I think is maybe the question. But to your point.
Yeah, it's just bad precedent, and I just don't think it's right for Magomed Ankalaev. Now you're punishing him and having him fight Alexander Rakic, fighting backwards.
That's what I was going to say. That's not fair to Magomed Ankalaev. And you mentioned our futures. That ticket's absolutely dead because he's not getting a title shot before the end of the year. And so, yeah, it's not fair for Magomed Ankalaev. Definitely earned a shot, and now he's going to fight Rakic. And if he loses that, man, he's probably never going to get a title shot. But Khalil Roundtree, I think him going on the Joe Rogan Experience, if you had known he went on it for one of the MMA shows, I think that did wonders for him. Him explaining his situation, him coming forward to not only the audience, the masses, but also directly speaking to, Drugs Free Sport International and the UFC, trying to clear his case, which always has that built-in excuse for the fighters to say, it wasn't me, I was given a tainted supplement. But he explained it. We got to take it for what it's worth, take him for his word. And, if they gave him the okay and it was a mistake on their part, then I do think that after his past performances that he does deserve a shot. But I do agree with you. If we're going to let people fail drug tests and then get a title shot off it, it does set a bad precedent. So our Magomed Ankalaev tickets are absolutely dead. But, I'm expecting violence in that fight.
100%. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve a title shot, but not before Magomed Ankalaev.
No.
Then what's the point of rankings? There's really
they don't mean
point.
Nothing.
They don't mean anything. So it left me a bad taste in my mouth, if I'm being honest. But shout out Alex Pereira. I mean, this guy's a promotional workhorse. And we get it. Here comes Raquel Pennington. I thought it was going to be the main event, but it's the co-main event. Got 2 titles.
I called that.
Raquel Pennington versus Juliana Pena.
You called that.
And then we got the Olympian Kayla Harrison taking Caitlin Vieira. Aljo taking on undefeated Mozart Ivalov. His O's going to go. We got the legend King of Rio, Jose Aldo versus Mario Batista. What a banger of a fight that is. Chris Curtis out of his fight versus Kevin Holland. Here comes Roman Dolidze.
Wow. Roman Dolidze stepping up on every short notice fight he can get.
And Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Here you go. Here's Joaquin Buckley.
On the fight? On Utah card?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going 100%. No doubt. You see us boots on the ground, be in Utah, 307, October 5th. I'll see you there.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
Gotta see Wonder Boy in person, bro.
Yeah, Wonder Boy. He's opening up the card against Joaquin Buckley. What
Woo!
a fucking banger.
And Buckley is on a tear, so that is a great fight.
Great fight. They called each other out. They have respect for each other. Out of those 5 fights outside of the main event, what's your favorite? I really like the Jose Aldo.
I was going to say, honestly, besides the one I just shouted out, Buckley and Wonder Boy, yeah, I do like the Jose Aldo Mario Batista fight. That is a striker's battle. That is a stand-up fest right there, and I like it. I think they're not going to incorporate any takedowns. First one to take down is gay.
Yeah, or like, I mean, it's insane because they're like, oh, Jose Aldo, you're on your way out. Here's another killer, Mario.
I'm back.
Yeah, exactly. So insane. Joe, I got the rest of the 2024 schedule for you. To this week, we got 305. Next week, UFC Vegas 97, Jared Cannonier versus Berhalio at the Apex. September 7th, UFC Vegas 97, we got Gilbert Burns taking on Sean
right?
Brady. No, 97.
I thought you said 7 on the prior one.
Then we got UFC Noches, O'Malley versus Dualasvili. September 28th, UFC Paris, Moicano versus BSD. UFC 307 at the Delta Center in Salt Lake City, Pereira versus Khalil Roundtree. October 12th, UFC Vegas 98, we got Brendan Royval versus Tatsuro Taira. Wow. UFC Vegas 99, we have Michel Pereira versus Alexander fucking Hernandez at the Apex. October 26th, we got UFC 308 in Abu Dhabi, Tapora versus Holloway. November 2nd, like I just said, UFC Edmonton, Blanchfield, Namajunas. UFC 9th, circle it on your calendar. We are going to have an amazing show. UFC Apex 100. It's TBD, but it doesn't fucking matter. November 9th is the glory day.
Yes.
I can't fucking wait. We got to have guests on, multiple guests. I mean, this is going to be amazing. I can't fucking wait. I'm more excited for that than anything, if I'm being honest.
That's great. UFC Vegas 100 is the main attraction.
And then after that, we're coming over here. Madison Square Garden. Hopefully it's TBD, but we all think
John Jones versus
John Jones, Steve Page. UFC November 23rd. UFC China at the Galaxy Center. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's UFC Macau.
Oh, is it Macau?
Macau, yes. Macau is the first time in over 9 years that the UFC is back in
Macau.
China. Macau at the
China
Galaxy.
In general, wow.
Yeah. It's at the Galaxy Center. That is November 23rd. December 7th, UFC 310 at the T-Mobile Arena. And then December 14th, last card, UFC Tampa, baby, at the Amelia Arena in Tampa where the Lightning play. So
at least the weather will be deep down there as opposed to November in Edmonton.
And that's the last thing we got. We are locked and loaded, kid. A couple weeks off here and there, but we're loaded.
And I mean, are we pretty accurate with our predictions, matchmaking for those main events? I mean, obviously the 307, we did not see the main event coming. We saw the co-main event, but I'm pretty sure we're like 4 for 5 at least for main event predictions for the end of the year.
Mean, we and I think we would have been undefeated if Islam wasn't hurt. He was going to headline Abu Dhabi, and we would have got Tapore Holloway in Salt Lake City. But I think besides that one, we got everyone right. Even the Aaron Blanchfield and Rose we predicted. So any thing on the China card? That's pretty interesting, kid.
No, I mean, nothing yet. Yeah, but I think it's going to be fun, especially if we get a lot of road to UFC guys or if we get a lot of Chinese athletes. I think it'll be a spectacle over there, especially if they put on a good production.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time in over 10 years that they're going back, but it's going to be amazing.
They've been trying to get to China. Remember, we're trying to get the fight between Yao Jianan and Wei Zhang. We got it for 300.
Maybe that's it. And this is the last time the UFC was there, 2014. Michael Bisping and Chung Lee.
Wow, Chung Lee, bro.
You remember him?
Absolutely. I think he's secretly in a lawsuit against the UFC and Dana White right now.
Wow. So go figure.
Yeah, I think, a little MMA news from me. I actually think that was reported that they're denied. The judge made an appeal. So the $350 million lawsuit is being extended so that the UFC has to wind up pay more. So we'll see what happens. Maybe the UFC gets bankrupted and we don't have any more mixed martial arts. We'll see.
And we're done. And then we'll go over to PFL because
for life.
The legend, Paul Hughes, the rookie. I mean, second fight. He's stepping up and he's going to fight on that PFL October 19th. I don't know.
Super fights. Yeah, Bellator, PFL, Super Fights, Excalibur, WWE. It's just every presented by Bojangles. Like, I mean, they got everything going in those things. But
The battle
dude,
of the gods. AJ
who is it?
McKee versus Paul Hughes.
Ooh, that's a massive step up. But if Paul Hughes can get past AJ McKee, bro, I mean, you give him a shot at the title. You give him whatever he wants. So
100%.
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's the battle, brace for Impact Battle of the Giants. No odds yet, but like I said, only odds for the co-main and the main
That's
event.
the same card that has Chris Cyborg and Larissa Pacheco, right?
Yes, correct. And that will probably be the third fight before the co-main event.
There we go.
Real quick on UFC Edmonton, we have the main event, Aaron Blanchfield, co-main event, Derek Lewis versus Alexander Romanov. Can you guess the odds? We have odds for both of these.
Both. Rose Namajunas. Based off Aaron Blanchfield, Rose might be a minus 225 favorite.
Not even close. Aaron Blanchfield minus 115, Rose minus 105.
Oh, so they got both on plus minus odds. So I mean, yeah, that's crazy. Wow. But in the co-main event, Derek Lewis minus 500.
Derek Lewis minus 170, Alexander Romanov plus 145.
Romanov is going to get his head taken off.
You think?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. It's going to be a good one. Even in that card, the third fight on the main card, which I like, Ariana Limsky taking on Jasmine Javicius. So going to be a really good card. They got to put her up there. I mean, they got to get Mike Malott up there as well. All the Canadians, they got to put on the card.
Get him back up there.
Kid, that's all I got. 10 seconds left. You got a boxing fight in Quebec. We'll talk about Canada. Go up there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Quebec City, man. Christian Billy, minus 440, taking on Sergey Derevyanchenko. He is a plus 320. I got Billy. He's defending his belt. What was it called? It was the WBO Continental. Say it again.
I don't even know. You said it, but it was like Intercontinental USC.
Super middleweight title. That's what he's defending. I think he'll retain. He's been looking like a stud. And so I need to get back on 10 seconds left, get on the right track. And I know I'm playing the heavy favorite, but it's the right thing to do. Let's get it back so I can get it right come Monday's episode for Dana White Contender Series on Tuesday.
You've been slacking a little bit here on the 10 seconds.
Went good for a month. Man, I had 6 in a row. And then it's been up and down. Each week I got a win and then I got a loss. So I haven't been able to put it together. But hopefully past this into the month of September, we're on a roll.
Let's fucking go, Joe. I appreciate you. Good luck tonight. Yes, PFL Hollywood, UFC 305 tomorrow. Good luck to everyone. That is going to do it for this Friday edition of Axe Cake Picks. On behalf of our sponsor, Viva Tequila, Joey, myself, make sure you guys go follow along our social media, Twitter and Instagram at Axe Cake Picks. You guys can find us on wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. We go live on YouTube as well. So hit that like button, subscribe, rate, give us a review. Leave in the comments who you'll be betting on this week. All that good stuff really helps the show grow tremendously. So be a friend, tell a friend. Good luck this weekend, and we will see you guys on Monday.